Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will study page number 339. Page number 339. So by way of three stages. So actually these are the development of meditation, bhavana. So the first stage is a preliminary stage. Preliminary stage. So it is attainable in 40 subjects of meditation. So traditionally we have a 40 meditation object. So preliminary stage can be attainable by any objects of meditation. The next one, assess development. Upachara bhavana is attainable in the first 8 recollection meditation subjects, and 1 perception and 1 analysis. So I think if you look at page number page number 334, page number 334, I think you will understand this one. So we are not, we're trying to analyze 40 meditation objects by way of stages. We have 3 stages, preliminary stage, assess development stage, and jhana, absorption state. So any meditation object can be attained preliminary stage. That is the first one. Anyone. And second stage, assess development. Assess development. But this is a upachara bhavana is very strong, as you know that. So in this stage, there's no hindrances in your mind. In preliminary stage, there are some hindrances. But when you practice 8 type of recollection, the first 8 type of recollection, we have a 10 type of recollection. And then the first one, Buddha Nosati, recollection of the Buddha. Second, Dhamma, Sangha, generosity, and one own morality, and the quality of the Deva, and peace, recollection of peace, the bliss of Nibbana, and recollection of death. So when you practice the first 8 recollection meditation subject, you can attain assess development, upachara bhavana. In other words, we call it assess concentration. And second stage. So man 40 meditation method, 10 type is attainable. If you practice 10 type of meditation method, you will attain assess development or assess concentration, upachara bhavana or upachara samadhi. They are the first 8 recollection meditations, and 1 perception. Here, 1 perception means trying to have a perception of looseness of food. Another one is 1 analysis. 1 analysis. You analyze this body into 4 great elements. So when you practice these 10 types, you only attain access development or access concentration. You cannot attain jhana. The reason is you need to engage a lot of reflection, a lot of reflecting upon many different qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, etc. So when you are analyzing your body in terms of 4 great elements, so it needs a lot of reflection, and also it needs a lot of vitakka, application of thought. So when you are analyzing your body into 4 great elements, you need to apply vitakka. So your mind have to think, element in your body. So in that way, so that vitakka, application of thought, prevent one-pointedness from gaining the fixity needed to attain absorption or jhana. So that means when you are contemplating the quality of the Buddha, you will still have preliminary stage of development of meditation. So your mind will be very still, but you still have the hindrances in your mind. But when you keep on contemplating the quality of the Buddha, then your mind is just focused, analyze the quality of the Buddha. In the shrine hall, we always chant, right? So when you know the meaning, you are contemplating the quality of the Buddha and the quality of the Dhamma. So when you are contemplating different quality of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, you need to reflect a lot. You need to use a lot of application of thought or vitakka. Your mind have to think one thing, and when you chant another one, have to think that one. It needs a lot of object to think. So that means your mind apply, vitakka apply your mind to go to different object. For that reason, it will prevent one-pointedness from gaining the fixity. Here, fixity means apana. Apana means your mind cannot fix only one thing, but you need to think a lot of quality of the Buddha, the quality of the Dhamma, etc. So when you are analyzing your body into 4 great elements, you need to use a lot of vitakka. Vitakka bring, your mind to different element. When the earth element is prominent in your body, you have to think the earth element. The air element will appear. Then your mind, your vitakka have to bring the mind to the air element. So that means need a lot of vitakka. Then you will not attain the fixity. That means one-pointedness of the mind. Your mind cannot fix in one object. For that reason, it will prevent your mind to attain jhana. It will produce only access concentration. And then if you look at page number 334, you will see. But here it shows why 10 type of meditation subject cannot attain jhana, cannot produce jhana, but it produces only access concentration. But all the meditation method will produce preliminary stage of development or meditation. One way or another, it will produce tranquility of the mind, samadhi or samatha. So here will be 10 type of meditation method that produce only access concentration or access development. Number 3, absorption stage of development. Actually, absorption here means jhana. Jhana state of development or meditation. So the jhana is attainable in the remaining 32 meditation subject. So as you know, we have out of 40, 10 type of meditation method cannot produce jhana. It produces only assess concentration or assess development. But the rest of the 30 meditation method can produce jhana. So actually now we analyze meditation method in terms of different stages. So we have 3 stages: preliminary stage, second assess stage, the third jhana stage. Any meditation method can attain preliminary stage. 10 type of meditation method can produce only assess concentration or assess development. They are the first 8 recollection meditation subject, starting from Buddha-Nosati. Then, one perception. So when you are analyzing the food, you are contemplating the food in terms of loopsaness. It needs a lot of vitaka. And also analysis of one analysis, that me analyzing the body into 4 great elements. You can have only assess development. The rest of the 30 meditation subject can produce jhana stage. So now we are talking about jhana. Look at page number 339. Paragraph number 15. The 10 kasinas meditation method and mindfulness of breathing, altogether 11, can produce 5 jhanas. Whatever meditation method you use among these 11, then it will produce 5 jhanas. 10 type of foundness meditation or subhabhavana and body related mindfulness, Thagata Sati, produce only the first jhana. The reason is 10 type of asubhabhavana, meditation on foundness and body related mindfulness, it need vitaka. For that reason, vitaka, when you are contemplating the nature of the body, different stages of that body, you need to use your vitaka. Vitaka have to vitaka bring the mind to think about different stages. Also, when you are contemplating body related mindfulness, so that means we have a 32 part of the body. When you are contemplating and recollecting different part of the body, hair, nail, skin, bone, etc. So you need to you have a vitaka, thinking or thought, continuous thought. So for that reason, together with the vitaka, you can attain the first jhana. So as you need vitaka, as you cannot overcome vitaka, you cannot attain any higher jhana. Because without overcoming, if you cannot overcome vitaka, you cannot attain second jhana. Because in second jhana, there's no vitakka. When you are practicing 10 type of asubha bhavana and body-related mindfulness, you need a lot of thinking, application of thought. So for that reason, you can attain only the first jhana. The first three elemental base, so that means Metta Bhavana, Karuna Bhavana, and Mudita Bhavana produce 4 jhana. But when you have Metta, Karuna, and Mudita, you have together with rapture in your mind. For that reason, rapture and pleasure in your mind. For that reason, when you practice Metta, Karuna, and Mudita Bhavana, you can achieve up to 4th jhana. You can attain the first jhana, second, third, and 4th jhana. Because it's together with rapture and pleasure. But when you practice Upekkha, equanimity meditation, it produces only the 5th jhana. Because the moment you attain equanimity, there is no rapture in your mind, there's no pleasure. You ignore, rapture or pleasure or pain, anything. For that reason, when you practice, you can attain only the 5th jhana. Question up to now? Okay.
Just now the table on the 40 meditation subject.
Yeah.
The last 2 recollection, according to the table, can go to absorption.
The last 2?
The last 2 subject, which is the body and the breath.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Can go into absorption. So
Yeah, can.
It's only 8. Cannot go into absorption.
You're right, yeah. For that reason, I say that the first 8 recollection. The first 8 recollection can produce only access development or access concentration. But among the last 2, body-related mindfulness can produce only the first jhana. Because it needs a lot of vitakka. So it cannot overcome, vitakka. For that reason, it cannot go up to a higher jhana. But breathing meditation can achieve, can be, can produce any, the 5 jhana.
For living kindness, there is absorption development, and there is no counterpart sign. So all absorption can take place.
Regarding with the counterpart sign, without counterpart sign, they can achieve jhana. They can achieve jhanas. But regarding with the counterpart sign, I will come to later part. So there are some meditation method that cannot achieve counterpart sign. Because Metta, Karuna, Mudita, so actually their object is the concept of being. So for that reason, it cannot counterpart sign is not available, because their object is the concept or the being. So when we are meditating, when you are using metta meditation method, So we have to radiate loving kindness to the people, to all living beings, right? So we just radiate loving kindness, concentrating, how to say, the concept of living being, Then our mind became very concentrated, then can attain the first, second, third, and fourth jhana. Yeah, you're right. It's not counterpart. Counterpart is not available. Later we will come to that. Question? Okay. Aforementioned 26 subjects of meditation produce 5 material jhanas. 5 material jhanas. So, 26 subjects of meditation. 26 subjects of meditation produce 5 material jhana, rupa jhana. The 4 immaterial states produce immaterial jhana. So among 40, 10 meditation subjects cannot produce any jhana. Only 30. Among 30, 26 can produce rupa jhana, 5 material jhana, 4 immaterial states like infinite space, infinite consciousness, etc. So these 4 states produce immaterial jhana. I think this one is very difficult, no? You just look at page number 339. Then by way of signs, actually you already learned that, but we are learning using how to say the Abhidhamma Sangha, manual Abhidhamma. Of the 3 signs, the preliminary sign, upachara, nimitta, and the learning sign, grab sign, are generally formed in relation to every object in the appropriate way. So we have 3 types of signs. The preliminary sign and the learning sign can be achieved in any type of meditation method in an appropriate way. Of course, when we are if we are practicing the art meditation, the art kasina meditation, the preliminary sign will be different as you are practicing breathing meditation in an appropriate way. And learning sign also will be different. Suppose you are practicing the art kasina meditation method, your preliminary sign is the art kasina object. Looking at your eye, looking the object with your eye. So that will be preliminary sign. And as your mind is not going anywhere, you close your eye, then you visualize the art kasina object. So that object clearly appears in your mind. So that will be learning sign, grab sign. So that is a practicing kasina meditation. So when you are practicing body-related meditation, suppose you go to cemetery and you see dead body, bloated dead body. Then you see, that body with your eye. You contemplate, then I will die one day. I will be like this body one day, like this. You look at, that body. Then, if you can grasp that body with your eye, then you close your eye. Then you visualize bloated dead body that you see with your eye. Even though you close your eye, so that bloated dead body appear in your mind, That will be landing sign or grab sign. Because your mind able to grasp that body sign. So what I mean is in appropriate way, it will be appropriate way. And also in breathing meditations. So when you're contemplating breathing, breathing. So that will be preliminary sign. Then sometimes, the air became like a line of light, like a traces of line. So that will be landing sign. So it became different in an appropriate way. But the counterpart sign is formed only in kasinas. We have 10 type of kasina meditation method. We have 10 type of finite meditation, asubha bhavana, and the part of the body, 32 part of the body, and mindfulness of breathing. So counterpart sign is found only kasina. 10 type of kasina and 10 type of finite meditation. And the part of 32 part of the body meditation and mindfulness of breathing meditation. So altogether 22. So the counterpart sign. So just look at the art kasina. So you close your eye, you try to grasp the original, the art object, trying to contemplate the art. So when you keep on contemplating kasina object, then your mind is just focused on that object. Then there's no hindrances run away. There's no hindrances in your mind. The mind is focused only to the art object. Then if there is no, that the art object became brightened, became a bright and shining circle. There's no longer the art element at all. It is just a concept in your mind. So as your mind is very clear, the art kasina object also getting clear. So there's no the art anymore. It became, replica of, the copy of the art kasina. So it became counterpart sign. Counterpart here means it's no longer the art element. It became a shining and bright circle. So it became a counterpart. So here, the counterpart sign is formed only in the kasinas and fitness meditation and the part of the body. So in the 32 part of the body, so when you are contemplating, bone meditation, if you focus on the bone, then you can attain the counterpart. So the bone, it's no longer the bone, It became a white color, very bright. So that became a counterpart sign. So man 3 signs. So only 22 meditation method can produce counterpart sign. The rest cannot, including 4 elemental base. It is by means of counterpart sign that assess concentration or assess development or absorption concentration, jhana concentration occur. So because of counterpart sign, then assess concentration, jhana concentration arises. Maybe I did. You just look at this one. Appearance on the signs. So this one also I already explained. Maybe look at page number 340. Actually, this is the note from the from menu of Abhidhamma. When a beginner apprehends a particular sign from the art disc, etc., so that object is called the preliminary sign. No? When you're practicing Kasina meditation, the art Bhattovi Kasina meditation, the art disc is a preliminary sign. You look at that object. That meditation is called the preliminary development. So we have three stages of development: preliminary development, and assess development, and jhana development. Here, development means bhavana, meditation. Bhavana. We use the word meditation. Preliminary meditation, assess meditation, and jhana meditation. It can be divided into three. But here also, sign also three types: preliminary sign, and learning sign, and counterpart sign. Actually, they are slightly different. So when you are practicing Bhattovi Kasina, the art disc is your preliminary sign. You look at the art disc. So by looking at the art disc, you cultivate your concentration. When that sign has been thoroughly apprehended and enter into range of the mind door, it come into the mind, just as it were seen by the eye, as if you see with your naked eye, but actually you see in your mind's eye, in your mind. It is called learning sign. Okahani made okami, trying to grasp it. Your mind trying to grasp it. Even though now you close your eye, you can visualize your family member right away. Because you always look at your family member. You always see your family member at home, right? It became, preliminary stage is very strong. Wherever you go, anytime, when you close your eye, you can visualize, right away. Your mind able to grasp the image of your family member. Just example. Here also, when you look at the art disc, you cultivate you develop concentration by looking at the art disc, right? The mind do not go anywhere, just focus. That is preliminary sign. Then you close your eye, you try to visualize that the art disc. That is called learning sign. Actually, Bhikkhu already used the word learning, translate learning sign, but I prefer the grasp sign. Your mind can grasp the art disc very clearly, as if you see with your naked eye. That meditation becomes concentrated. When one is thus concentrated, one then applies oneself to meditation by means of that preliminary concentration based on that learning sign. So that means when you see with your naked eye the art disc, so that is preliminary sign. Based on that, you practice your mind, you close your eye, then you have a learning sign in your mind. You keep on practice. As when that saw an object which is counterpart of that learning sign. Actually, in the learning sign stage and grasp stage, you actually able to visualize actual earth disk, the earth element. You can see the earth element with your eye. But when you develop your concentrations, your mind became clear, free from hindrances, free from defilements. As your mind is very clear, and the object that the mind take also getting clear. So the earth disk, earlier, which is the earth element. So when your mind is getting clear, so that the earth disk getting very clear, getting shiner and getting brighter, and there is no the earth element at all, no the earth element, shining and bright sake. For that reason, we use counterpart. So actually, that sign is shining and bright sake in your mind is a counterpart of landing sign, counterpart of earlier earth disk. It is well established, but now fixed in the mind. So that means it's shining and bright sake fixed in your mind. Your mind do not go anywhere. An object which is free from the flaw or original object. So actually free from the flaw original object means, so when you see the earth disk, then you can see the earth element. So actually you have to use your hand, to prepare it, and you can see some touching, some the footprint or not footprint, fingerprint, fingerprint on the earth disk. You can see them. These are the flaws. But when your mind is fixed, when your mind is very clear, those flaws, also remove. Those flaws are already disappear. You just see it is shining and bright sake in your mind. Even there's no the earth element at all. So that is called a concept. Because a concept is not really exist, so the mind created. Actually, it's a creation of the mind. Creation of a very concentrated mind. A creation of a clear mind. Clear mind create a shining and bright sake. For that reason, it's called concept. Earlier when you see the earth disk, it's a reality. It's a rupa, it's a matter. It really exists. But when your mind is concentrated, when your mind is free from hindrances, the mind getting clear, then the object you contemplate, the earth disk, also getting clear, free from flaw of earlier signs, So actually it's called concept, not really exists, the creation of the mind. Born of meditation. Then it is said that the counterpart sign has arisen. Counterpart. It's not the same as earlier the earth disk. Thereafter, access development is accomplished. But here we will three types of development. Preliminary development, number one. And now access development. So actually upachara bhavana is very near to jhana. The mind is very concentrated and free from defilements. But you cannot, you do not attain the jhana yet. So thereafter, access development is accomplished, consisting in concentration of the sense sphere, in which the hindrances have been abandoned, even though hindrances nivarana, like a sensory desire, airway, etc., sloth and torpor, etc. So actually they are abandoned, but so you are in the sense sphere realm. So sense sphere realm, you still see a sense sphere object. Shining and bright circle is sense sphere object. Following this, as one cultivate the counterpart sign, keep on practice, develop concentration by using counterpart sign, by means of assess concentration, one enters the first chart of the 5 material sphere plane, the first chart. So keep on practice by means of assess concentration, then you attain the first chart. In the first jhana, your mind totally fixed on the meditation object. Meditation object means, in this case, is shining and bright circle. Your mind no longer go anywhere. Fixed. So that is called apana. Your mind lock. So there's no sensory desire at all. There's no airway, no sloth and torpor, no restlessness and remorse, no doubt. So free from 5 hindrances. Then you take the first chart. Following this, one masters the first jhana by means of 5 kinds of mastery. Actually, we already learned that previous week. Adverting, attainment, resolution, emerging, and reviewing. These are 5 kinds of mastery. So by striving to abandon the successive growth factors, such as initial application, sustained application, etc. So that means you try to, when you attain the first jhana, you still have initial application or thought. So when you want to attain second jhana, you have to overcome initial application. So your mind, you need a lot of concentration. Even you don't need thinking, right away your mind stick to meditation object. In the first jhana, you still need vitakka. Vitakka bring the mind to the meditation object. Vitakka bring the mind to the meditation object. So actually, you still need a lot of effort to do that. To do that. If you reduce your effort, if you reduce your concentration, vitakka might bring to other things, especially sensory desires, etc. For that reason, you increase your concentration. So then you don't need any initial application, any vitakka. Right away, your mind, concentrate on meditation object. So in that way, you abandon initial application. If you overcome vitakka, then you attain second jhana. In the second jhana, sustained application, also you need some effort. Of course, your mind is very stable, but you need still some effort to maintain your status of jhana. Then, as you have a sustained application, you must stay shaking a little bit. Then you try to overcome sustained application, examination, vichara. Then you attain third jhana. To arouse successive set of factors. So in the second jhana, vichara, vitakka, vichara, piti, all the jhana factors getting settled, such as sustained application, etc. One enters second jhana. If you overcome sustained application, third jhana. If you can overcome rapture, the fourth jhana. If you overcome pleasure, and the fifth jhana. Go like this. So these are attainment of five material jhana. Five material jhana. Actually, you already learned in the first chapter, right? I hope. Question? Okay. Then let's move to the immaterial attainment. The immaterial attainment. Next one withdraw any kasina. Any kasina. So we have a 10 type of kasina, except the space kasina. The space kasina. That's the preliminary walk by contemplating the space that remains as the infinite. By doing so, one enter the first immaterial attainment. Actually, we have learned in the first chapter, but this is a very in brief, in the ninth chapter. So the writer talk about how we can achieve attainment of immaterial jhana. So based on 9 kasina meditation object, we can develop immaterial jhana. So in the fifth jhana, when you attain the fifth jhana, the fifth fine material jhana, so your mind fixed on the shining and bright sake, sake. Then you're trying to develop concentration further. Then you're trying to extend, you're trying to extend that shining sake, trying to make a bigger one, and trying to actually to extend your meditation object. It needs a lot of concentration. If you don't have a powerful concentration, you cannot do that. Then you can shrink, you can shrink, that shining sake. Then you can make it, you enlarge that meditation shining sake up to the, as long as you want. Then you try to imagine, so that shining sake, space, no longer, actually, it became space, space. Then you visualize, you try to contemplate that infinite space as a meditation object. If your mind free from hindrances, if you don't have any attachment to that earlier shining sake, then you attain the first immaterial jhana. The first immaterial jhana. But here, meditation object is infinite space. So now you're trying to enlarge, that shining sake up to infinite, By so doing, one enters the first immaterial jhana. When one does the preliminary walk by contemplating the first immaterial sphere consciousness as the infinite. So in the first immaterial jhana, your meditation object is infinite space. Infinite space. When you want to attain second immaterial jhana, you have to move your meditation object. You have to change your meditation object. Infinite consciousness. But here, infinite consciousness means immaterial sphere consciousness. So in the first jhana, immaterial jhana, your mind contemplates on infinite space. So now you change your mind, infinite consciousness, infinite mind. The mind that can contemplate infinite space, infinite space. So in that way, you attain second immaterial attainment. And third one, so you're trying to contemplate absence of the first immaterial sphere consciousness the moment you attain second jhana. When you attain second immaterial jhana, there is no the first immaterial sphere consciousness. So you just contemplate that nothingness of the first immaterial jhana at the moment of second immaterial jhana. So then there's nothing. Then one enter the third immaterial attainment. Let's we also talk about it, right? I hope for those who want to know, then I explained in details in the first the first chapter. So I want you to go back and listen. Then the fourth immaterial jhana, you contemplate the third immaterial jhana in this way. The third immaterial jhana is peaceful. So the third immaterial jhana is sublime. So when you can abandon attachment or craving toward the third immaterial jhana, then you attain the fourth one. So actually it's a gradual stage. Normally, when you have an attachment and craving toward the first immaterial jhana, you cannot go to second one. You have to overcome it. To attain second immaterial jhana, you have to change your direction, your meditation object, from infinite space to infinite consciousness. When you keep on contemplating infinite consciousness, the craving or attachment toward the first immaterial jhana abandon. When you want to attain the third immaterial jhana, and also you have to abandon craving. Actually, when you attain immaterial jhana, it's very blissful, very peaceful, a very high, high degree of jhana bliss. So the mind will cling to that. The mind might crave to that. So, for those who want to attain the fourth immaterial jhana, arupa jhana, then you have to remove craving toward the third arupa jhana. How to remove? So here, the Buddha has given the meditation method. We have to contemplate. This is peaceful. So this peaceful means the third immaterial jhana, the third arupa jhana is peaceful. The third arupa jhana is sublime. Just contemplate on that. So trying to praise, peace and sublime nature of the third arupa jhana. Then in that way, your mind is tranquil and there's no craving toward the third arupa jhana. Then you attain the fourth one. Neither perception or non-perception. So in this level, the feeling, the degree of feeling, the degree of perception, getting settled. Almost nothing. So in that way, you attain the fourth immaterial attainment. So actually, this is how we practice to attain immaterial attainment. Question? No question? Huh? Okay. Page number 343. Para number 20. With other 10 meditation subject. So that means the virtue of the Buddha, the virtue of the Dhamma, Sangha, etc. And also we have the first 8 type of recollection meditation and 1 perception, 1 analysis, altogether 10. So with the other 10 meditation subjects, when one does preliminary work by taking the virtue of the Buddha, the virtue of the Dhamma, Sangha, etc. as one's object, when the sight has been thoroughly acquired. So the time when we are contemplating the virtue of the Buddha, your mind thoroughly acquire, the sign, preliminary sign. One began concentrated upon it by means of preliminary development, and assess concentrations also accomplished. It talk about with a 10 type of meditation method that produce assess concentration. No chart, right? No chart. Sorry. Now we're talking about direct knowledge. Page number 343, paragraph number 21. Having emerged from the 5th jhana, actually this one we have learned in the 4th chapter in detail. 4th chapter in detail, we talk about Abhidhamma, direct knowledge. How you can attain, actually the author, meaning of Abhidhamma, just mentioned briefly. So we have to go to Visuddhimagga to know that. And also Pali Canon also just mentioned a little bit, little bit. So Visuddhimagga and commentary will talk about the way or the practice to attain those direct knowledge. So here, this is a brief explanation. Having emerged from the 5th Rupa jhana, 5 material jhana, taken as a basis for the direct knowledge, when you want to attain direct knowledge, supernatural power, etc., psychic power, etc. So you need to practice. To attain the fifth 5 material jhana first. It is the basis. Having advanced to resolution. Resolution means you have to make resolution. Suppose you want to see a person from United States right now, it's a psychic power. You want to see one of your family member in the US without internet, First, you try to attain the 5th jhana as a basis. Then after that, there is mind or advancing. You make resolution. I want to see my daughter. I want to see my mother, etc. Resolution. Make a resolution. When one does preliminary work, one enter. Preliminary work means you just determine what you want to. You want to hear, And also, I want to hear. You determine. You make a resolution in your mind. And one enter into the 5th 5 material sphere jhana again, So you have to enter the 5th jhana again. The first step, you have to enter the 5th jhana as a basis. Then emerge from the 5th jhana and trying to make resolution in your mind. You want to be like this. You want to hear. You want to see. And you want to create your many body, etc. Make a resolution. and also you enter the fifth jhana again. Occurring by way of direct knowledge with respect to such object as visible form. Then as soon as you emerge from the fifth jhana and you achieve direct knowledge, and you will be able to see and able to hear. No? That is called direct knowledge. So we have a 5 type of direct knowledge. Number 1, the knowledge of the motor supernormal power. The knowledge of the motor supernormal power. So that is performing various miracles. And you have only one body, you're trying to create many bodies, many copy of yourself, many copy of yourself. And physics power. And you want, when you want to tap into the earth, that is called the knowledge of the motor supernormal power. And also you walk on the water, on the ocean, and you fly in the air, etc. These are supernormal power. And you go through the wall, and you fly in the sky just like a bird. These are supernormal power. These are called direct knowledge. Panya, a special knowledge. So according to Visuddhimagga, first, so 5 kinds of direct knowledge. And second, the knowledge of divine ear. Now you hear, the ability to hear all kinds of songs, far and near. And you want to hear the songs of the devas or the songs of hellish beings. These are called divine ear. That's also direct knowledge, one of the direct knowledge. And the knowledge of encompassing the mind of others. So you want to know what the people are thinking. Then you so that there is the method to attain this direct knowledge. Then you want to know the mind of other people, what they are thinking. That's the reason why the Buddha and some of the Arahants, they know the mind of other people. The Buddha knew what the Venerable Rahula is thinking, etc. The knowledge of encompassing the mind of others. The knowledge to understand the mind of other beings and persons. Then number 4, the knowledge of recollecting past life. So the ability to recollect one's own past life. Wander in samsara. So you're trying to recollect your own past life. So many life. That's called recollecting past life. And the 5th one, the knowledge of divine eye. So here you can see, the ability to see beings passing away and reappearance from the divine eye. If someone dies, you see where he or she will go. And you also know where people come from, etc. The ability to see beings passing away and reappearance in the next life with the divine eye. So these are called 5 direct knowledge according to Manual Abhidhamma. Actually, we also have other type, Anagatata Jnana, to know the future, etc. So the Buddha, some people knew the future, what will happen tomorrow, what will happen next life. And also, if you add the knowledge of distraction of things, then it became 6 type of direct knowledge. 6 type of direct knowledge. So regarding with the direct knowledge, you can see page number 176. Later, not now. If you want, you can. If you want, it's okay. You can see. So here, in the fourth chapter of the manual of Abhidhamma, it mentions how you can practice to attain direct knowledge. Firstly, enter the fifth fine material jhana and try to master over it. So that means trying to attain the fifth jhana, trying to master, by using 5 kinds of mastery. Only then you can go to direct knowledge. You have to be master in the fifth jhana. Second, you have to make resolution in your mind. Whatever supernatural power you want to perform. Suppose when you want to see, someone very far place, then you try to enter the fifth jhana, try to master it. Second, emerge from the fifth jhana and try to make resolution. And I want to see such a person. That is called making resolution. So actually this is called sincere mental process. And third step, you enter the fifth jhana again. So this fifth jhana is a base for the direct knowledge. To attain direct knowledge, you have to base the fifth jhana again. Then, as soon as you emerge from the fifth jhana, you attain direct knowledge. When you achieve direct knowledge, then you'll be able to see, you'll be able to hear, and you will be able to perform different type of psychic power. So that is called direct knowledge. That is how you can attain the direct knowledge. So actually this is a direct knowledge mind process. So the first jhana attainment, bhavanga, and vibration and bhavanga and rest bhavanga. And here mind or adverting, and preliminary stage, then assess, then CN? CH is a change or lineage. Patika Upasana. Then jhana. Here the fifth jhana. Then bhavanga. So that is actually the fifth jhana attainment before you want to attain the right knowledge. Then make a resolution. Actually this is a mental process. Mind or adverting, 7 jhavana and bhavanga. Then after that you enter the fifth jhana again, but this is the base for the right knowledge. Bhavanga, vibration of bhavanga, rest bhavanga, mind or adverting, prika upasa nulong kotarabu. Then jhana and bhavanga. Then as soon as you emerge from the fifth jhana, you attain direct knowledge process. But here, prika upasa nulong kotarabu, then direct knowledge, bhavanga. As soon as you this mind process finish, then you perform your direct knowledge. Anything you wish, anything that you have make resolution. So that is called direct knowledge. So up to now, question? Any question? Okay. better use microphone.
But if to have first jhana, we must hold our sila mind properly, right? So, but to hold your sila mind so that you have morality and you have everything right, so you will be able to attain your first jhana. After your first jhana, then we proceed until you get your fifth jhana. It's just that this jhana does not actually lead you to sainthood.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Yeah.
So
That is just samatha.
yeah, so even having all this jhana at this high level, it does not lead us to sainthood. It does not liberate us.
You're right, you're right.
So the objective of having all this is probably tranquility or supernatural power that we need. But if we will want to have sainthood, without jhana, we were able to have sainthood also, right? But except for the first sotapanna, you don't need to have jhana. But for sakaragami, second, you have to have jhana to attain that.
Actually, this is a very controversial issue. That's all? Question? That's all right?
Because my thing, I just want to understand, I'm just very curious, because it's so difficult to practice all this, to get into the fifth jhana. Then it does not liberate you from this samsara. Just like Devadatta, you practice with all these things, you need to have the right morality, general jhana, all these things, but it does not liberate you. It does not lead you to have the right knowledge to be liberated. That is, I just want to understand, it doesn't, you have to practice to lead, or you have to practice to attain sainthood in another way.
Yeah. Actually, the purpose of jhana is to have a tranquil mind. If you are happy in your jhana, you don't need to rely on sensory things. Your mind is not affected, even though you don't see, you don't hear, you don't eat. You are satisfied with the jhana. So that means you don't need anything. Just sit down, just meditate. If you attain jhana, your mind is very tranquil, very happy, very happy. So at that moment, your mind is free from all of the attachment to the sensory things, the first. So the purpose of Vipassana, we call it. Actually, the jhana is samatha, tranquility of the mind. Of course, these jhanas, tranquility of the mind, are important stepping stone to know what they really are. To know what they really are. The nature of nama rupa, the nature of five aggregate. So when your mind is very tranquil and serene, it's easier to see the nature of nama rupa and five aggregate. But when you really understand the nature of nama rupa, the nature of five aggregate as they really are, and wisdom arises, or insight arises. So when you have an insight, when you have an understanding, when you have a wisdom, so there is no attachment, anything whatsoever. Even to jhana, no attachment at all. No attachment at all. So that is the benefit of insight or wisdom. So actually, but here, yes, without Vipassana or without wisdom, you cannot become sainthood. You achieve a higher level of jhana, immaterial jhana, your mind is very tranquil and you have a blissful happiness, jhana happiness. But your mind, your mind stay cling to the jhana bliss. So you make a lot of effort. But when you practice insight meditation or Vipassana based on jhana, your mind is very powerful. Then your mind is tranquil and peaceful. So when you use your wisdom or insight to know the real nature of your mind, your body, then wisdom arises. The knowledge to know as they really are. If you know the nature of the body, the nature of the mind, wherever your body, wherever your mind manifests, pleasant or unpleasant, it doesn't matter, because you have an understanding, understanding of wisdom. So if you have a wisdom, then total liberation of the mind. But jhana, temporary liberation of the mind. The moment you attain jhana, your mind is temporarily liberated, but it's just temporary. But when you attain insight wisdom or understanding, it's a complete liberation of the mind. Whatever happens in your life, no. So that is the purpose of jhana. We use stepping stone for achieving achieving sainthood, or attainment. So regarding with the question, without the jhana, can we attain sainthood? A very big question, big question. Actually, maybe I will touch on a little bit. I will answer a little bit. But of course, there are, when we look at Pali Canon, especially especially the Noble Eightfold Path. The last one is the right concentration. In the Pali Canon, so right concentration is defined as a four jhana. According to Abhidhamma, the fifth jhana. But in some places, so the Buddha said that concentration is not, even without concentrations, one can attain, liberation of the mind, by wisdom. So actually in Samdha Nikaya we have one sutta is called I forgot the name. So in that sutta, so the Buddha said that the Buddha taught to the monk. So actually the concentration is not the aim of my sasana, but insight or vipassana. So in that sutta, so the commentary mentioned that the Buddha referred to sukha vipassana, dry insider. So that means without achieving any of the four jhana, so one can become arahant, even arahant. So when you look at commentary explanation, so actually they clearly mention. So chalabhenya, some people became arahant with the chalabhenya. Chalabhenya means 6 types of direct knowledge. So today we have 5 types of direct knowledge, and you can add another one, direct knowledge of distraction or taste. So actually, when you can destroy all types of taste, you become arahant. But you become arahant together with 6 direct knowledge. So that means, commentary Visuddhimagga mentioned, those who became 6 direct knowledge are arahant together with the 6 direct knowledge, and they go through jhana. So there are one type of arahant or saint called sukha vipassaka. Sukha means dry. Vipassaka means insider. Actually, Bhikkhu Bodhi used the word insider. Actually, the one who practice insight meditation. So dry means without jhana. is dry, dry. No jhana, no direct knowledge. So at the Dhamma commentary, the first story of how to say the Dhamma commentary is a Chakupala Thera, story of Chakupala Thera. He was a rich man in Savatthi, and he heard teachings of the Buddha, and he became the monk. And he take meditation method from the Buddha and went to a remote area. And he practiced meditation. He tried hard, he tried hard. Then, as he tried hard, he had diseases. Then even his eye, disappeared. Sorry, eyesight, blank. Eyesight disappeared. Then, at the end, he became arahant. So he came back from the village to the Savatthi without any jhana, no jhana. He became arahant by practicing insight meditation. No jhana, he cannot perform any direct knowledge. So those arahants are called Sukha Vipassaka arahanta. So dry inside arahant. So this is a very controversial issue. Some people say jhanas are necessary to become to attain Nibbana. Some people say no, not necessary. But of course, if you attain jhana, better. I think the Buddha interpret right concentration as the best, the best interpretation. So when you have a right knowledge, a right concentration, by means of jhana, easier for you to have a right understanding or right knowledge. But when you have a assess concentrations, we call it assess concentrations. So upachara samadhi, here assess concentrations. Then you practice. You try to analyze the nature of nama rupa in terms of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Then you become saint, Sotapanna, even arahant. So when you attain without any jhana, it's called Sukha Vipassaka, dry inside. You became arahant, you became Sotapanna without any jhana. Your path is a dry, It's called Sukha, dry. So, but Abhidhamma commentary mentioned that the moment you attain, before you attain Sotapanna sainthood, but you need to practice Vipassana, Vipassana. So you need to contemplate the nature of nama rupa, the nature of five aggregate, nature, dukkha, anatta. So at that time, you need vitaka. So your mind, your vitaka have to bring the mind to the meditation object. That's vitaka. But you need to examine that meditation object. That's vichara. So when your mind is concentrated, so you have a rapture in your mind. That's rapture. Then, when your mind is then you have a pleasure also, sukha. Another, you have a one-pointedness at that moment. So actually, Abhidhamma commentary mentioned this is the first jhana. It's considered as the first jhana. It's very controversial issues. Maybe when I teach next year, I will teach based on the Sutta. I will use the Sutta as a reference. Otherwise, actually, very controversial one. Mahasi Siaro, actually Burmese Myanmar meditation masters, they always they are in favor of drawing insider, not in favor of me. They accept, they accept that the path without jhana we can take sainthood. You can become sainthood. Question? If no question, then next week we'll study Vipassana. Actually, up to now, we just finished Samatha. So actually, according to Visuddhimagga, these 40 methods, 40 meditation objects, are considered as Samatha. Based on Samatha, you can practice Vipassana. So next week we'll talk about it. So through Vipassana, you become sainthood. Paragato bala vidya samangi dan sukha dan saranatamu bemi raga viraga mani jamasokan Dhamma masangata mapatigula marurami mampagunan suvipadan Dhamma mimansaranatamu bemi yatachate namahapalamahu Chatusu susisu purisayugesu Atacha pukala dhammadasate Sangha mimansaranatamu bemi Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you everyone.